Welcome to Mystic Realms Recap. Links are in the description below. Please show some love of the author and me. On to the show. How is the damage to the crazy shark pirates? At this time, everyone is most concerned about the situation on Hyli's side. Her flagship took the frontal shot of the dreadnought Victory, and it was replaced by other ships. It is estimated that it has been replaced by countless fragments at this time. But when everyone looked at it, they couldn't help but be a little surprised. I saw the psionic fire ignited by psychic energy, hovering around the furious sea and raging waves like a vortex. Roar! At this time, the bow of the furious sea and raging waves seemed to grow sharp teeth. In an instant, all the psionic fire was absorbed. At this time, everyone saw that a huge gap appeared on the side of the hull of the furious sea. But what is shocking is that this gap is like flesh and blood at this time, and it begins to slowly recover under the interweaving of psychic power. The entire rage of the furious sea seems to have life, absorbing all the psychic fire to supply itself. Is this the ability of the legendary raging sea and raging waves? At this moment, in the communication channel, Hyli's figure reappeared. Ha ha ha, make everyone worry. Don't worry, although my furious sea raging tide is weak in attack power, it's still okay in terms of defensive power. It's not too late, everyone, it's time for the final offensive. Seeing that Hyli's was safe and sound, everyone was also amazed at the magic of the furious sea. The crazy shark pirates have become one of the 10 kings of the inland sea, and it seems that they have something on them. Since the furious sea and raging tide was alright, their gazes again fell on the deflagration star. At this moment, all the ships drove towards the deflagration star. The ship began to slowly approach the deflagration star. Just as the first ship entered the atmosphere, several psionic laser cannons landed directly on the ship. Rumbling. The dazzling fire light illuminates the turbid atmosphere of the deflagrating star. Enemy attack. A large number of Zerg fleets are ambushed in the atmosphere with the help of the cover of turbid substances in the atmosphere. When the Alliance fleet falls, give a fatal blow directly. Rumbling. Massive psionic lasers fell on the Hyperion's armor. Su Yen frowned, and sure enough, the Zerg brood had not been completely wiped out. Otherwise, it is impossible for these Zerg ships to launch such a ferocious attack. The entire Hyperion shook wildly, and a large number of psionic lasers fell on the armor. Su Yen immediately turned on the defense matrix, but under such a terrifying laser attack, defense could not solve the problem. And at this moment, Ling Bing came to Su Yan's side. Su Yan, I have just learned about the situation from Bai Ying. Do I need to intervene? Su Yan glanced at Ling Bing with a trusting smile on her face. Just say it. At this time, in the communication channel, the captains of other fleets also looked towards Su Yan. Seeing that Ling Bing's face became very indifferent at this moment, she began to analyze the situation on the battlefield and opened up the most secure path for the Golden Alliance. The situation is different now. Before, we were the defender and the Zerg attacker, but now we are the attackers, the Zerg are the defenders, our positions are different, and our tactics need to be changed. The Zerg delays our time just to delay the mother nest. We only need to kill the mother nest, even if it is our victory. My suggestion is to organize several small fleets to attack the 3 weak points of the Zerg. Only by rushing out of a bloody road can our army drive straight in. At this time, Dao Wujian of the Sun Alliance also sank. He knew very well what the outcome of the small fleet charging Zerg would be. Let the small army go to die? Dao Wujian is a little unacceptable. Let his comrades go to die, and then step on the comrades' corpses to welcome victory? Is this kind of thing really humane? But at this time, Ling Bing said lightly, there will always be victims in wars, and glorious victory without sacrifices. If I'm not wrong, those Zerg self-destruction fleets are coming. As soon as the voice fell, a loud noise was deafening. The familiar and terrifying explosion sounded again. Sure enough, those terrifying Zerg self-destruction troops attacked again. One after another self-destructing ships rushed into the fleet of the Golden Alliance without fear, and fierce fire burst into the sky. Report. Half of the ships of our crazy shark pirates have been destroyed. Report. Our Sun Alliance ship suffered heavy losses. Report. Our Tau fleet has lost more than half. One after another bad news came, can't hesitate any longer. Jean Luo looked at the woman behind Su Yan, this guy is a real war machine. On the battlefield, all life is just a chess piece in her eyes. And she is the chess player. Where did Su Yan find such a terrifying guy? Only this guy who sees everything as nothing can see the situation on the battlefield more clearly than others. Time to make a decision. Soldiers. For the safety of Xinghai, for the glory of the Jin clan. Those who are willing to rush through a bloody path for the large army, come and sign up with me. The Golden Clan fleet, the Sun Alliance fleet, the Crazy Shark pirates, the Tau fleet, and the 4 fleets have all divided up a vanguard team. It's time to charge. Su Yan looked at the ships that were dying and attacked the Zerg fleet without hesitation. I will be your sword. Valkyrie, attack. 10 Valkyries burst into the sky with rockets, and the Zerg fleet blocking the way instantly turned into a cloud of fireworks. Other Zerg fleets also broke out again, and they discovered the plan of the Golden Alliance. The bomber ship rushed over, but at this time, the Valkyrie directly intercepted them. The vanguard team is like a precise scalpel, cutting a bloody path directly from the encirclement of the Zerg. The Zerg's defense line finally had a gap, but they also paid a huge price. The Golden Alliance's fleet rushed out of the atmosphere, and after seeing the scene of the detonating star in front of them, they couldn't help but gasp. Centered on the wreckage of the fearless Victory, the Zerg brood has grown to a height of 100 meters. A large number of pulse-like flesh and blood tentacles spread out, and in just such a short time, the land in front of them has been assimilated into a breeding ground for Zerg hatching. Can't let it continue to spread and start orbital bombardment. It is absolutely impossible to let these Zerg continue to spread. Once the entire deflagration star is assimilated, it will be troublesome. Executing orbital bombing orders. All attention, don't waste any ammo. Use all means to exterminate the Zerg, and all ammunition losses will be borne by my Jin clan. As soon as the voice fell, a loud bang sounded in the ground. A huge fire soared into the sky, and the thick smoke turned into a mushroom cloud and rose. In the communication channel, the corner of Su Yan's mouth rose slightly. What are you still doing? Whoosh. 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 Only at this time did Su Yan understand what it means to be on fire. A large number of fusion warheads were launched from the body of the Hyperion. The fusion warheads in the sky landed in the worm nest, and in an instant, the endless fire set off a prairie and covered the entire land. Now that the Jin clan has said it, the ammunition loss will be borne by them. Su Yan naturally also let go of his hands and feet. It is cool to have a boss with deep pockets. Rumbling. The terrifying power of the fusion warhead made the rest of the Golden Alliance gasp. Tactical nuclear weapons? Su Yan's ship still has this type of weapon installed? Hyles laughed. Su Yan, I really like you more and more. Lord Su Yan's ship is the strongest ship I have ever seen among all ships. Even Dao Wujian was hot at the moment, his firepower was terrifying, and his body was flexible. Su Yan's Hyperion was simply a perfect ship. The other ships did not hesitate, and the Golden Rongfa threw a large number of missiles. The rest of the ships are even more omnipresent. As long as it is something that can explode, all items are thrown down. For a time, the scene was shocking. In the sky, the Zerg ships frantically attacked the ships of the Golden Alliance, as if making a final counterattack. But the people of the Golden Alliance seem to be crazy. Even if they are hit by a Zerg ship, they will risk their lives to attack the Zerg mother nest on the ground. Boom! With a loud bang, the volcano of the deflagration star also ejected a large amount of lava under the terrifying attack. Countless flaming meteors fell like a torrential rain, which made the already precarious Zerg mother nest even worse. The battle is set. The activity of the surrounding Zerg ships began to decrease, and some Zerg ships plunged directly into the volcano. Without the command of the Zerg brood, these Zerg ships immediately became headless flies. Seeing this, everyone in the Golden Alliance couldn't help but be overjoyed. Great! They won! For the dead comrades, for our glory, the counterattack begins. With a single order, the Golden Alliance's counterattack began. The artillery fire was noisy, and countless Zerg ships were shot down. The self-destructing Zerg ship even forgot how to self-destruct. The Zerg do not have the wisdom support of the Mother Hive, they are a group of beasts, without wisdom at all. Su Yan directly activated the ATX laser array, and a large number of lasers fell on the Zerg ship. A large number of Zerg ships fell one after another, and the lava on the ground could not even swallow it completely. The wreckage of the Zerg ship covered the entire surface of the deflagration star. I don't know how long it took, most of the Zerg ships were wiped out, and the remaining part was sent by the Golden Alliance to pursue them. It's finally over. I didn't expect this kind of thing to happen. Seeing that the Zerg fleet was finally wiped out, Hyles was also relieved. Dao Wujian's heart that has been hanging has also been put down, and the remaining Zerg ships can't make much of a climate. As long as the Zerg mother nest is solved, the rest of the Zerg will not be able to make any waves at all. However, just in case, the Golden Alliance also dispatched chasing troops. Be sure to exterminate the Zerg. Jean Luo sat in the Golden Glory with a secret thought in her heart. This time, the Jean clan suffered a big loss, but they eliminated the Zerg. This matter can be marketed, and it can also increase the reputation of the Golden Galaxy. Everyone relaxed, but Su Yan frowned slightly, always feeling that something was wrong. The Zerg's vitality is extremely powerful. Under the burning of volcanic lava, it was really destroyed? Just when Su Yan thought so, the lava on the surface of the deflagration star suddenly began to churn. Not good. Seeing the lava moving, Su Yan suddenly felt that something was wrong. Brush. Several flesh and blood tentacles burst out from the lava, and these flesh and blood tentacles directly grabbed the furious sea raging wave. Immediately afterwards, these flesh and blood tentacles seized the flagships of other fleets. Su Yan pressed the space jump for the first time, and the Hyperion disappeared directly in place. When the Hyperion reappeared, it had already appeared above the sky, and the flesh and blood tentacles could only be incompetent and furious. Immediately afterwards, the tentacles of flesh and blood directly pulled the flagships of other fleets to the ground. Damn. The ship's power system is paralyzed. The Zerg mother nest has not been destroyed yet. Damn it. It's deliberately showing weakness, in order to wipe us out. What to do? Our ship has fallen into lava, and the power system has been paralyzed. The fleet of the Golden Alliance panicked at this time, and their flagships were dragged down. Now their artillery fire has been poured out in the orbital bombardment just now. Now, if you want to solve them, you can only airborne. But the ground of the deflagration star is full of lava, and the only place they can settle is those Zerg wreckage. Such an environment is too difficult for their marine soldiers. Misfortunes do not come singly. A large number of Zerg drilled out of the lava. When everyone saw these Zerg soldiers walking out of the lava, their expressions changed. Damn it! Has the Zerg mother nest been able to produce lava-resistant Zerg soldiers? For a time, the 4 flagships of the Golden Alliance also fell into a difficult moment, but at this moment, a cannonball fell from the sky. Boom! The Hyperion's Yamato cannon landed directly on the center of all the tentacles. Sure enough, under the bombardment of the shells, hidden under the lava, the last Zerg mother nest revealed its shape. The Zerg brood looked at the Hyperion in the sky and let out a roar of incompetence and fury. Watching the Zerg fleet gradually surround the 4 flagships, Su Yan's face was sinking. Attention, the Predator is preparing to airborne, targeting the Golden Glory. Iron Pilot is ready to airborne, target Furious Sea Shark. The Guardian Army is ready to airborne, the target Bagua Liangi. Viking fighters start patrol mode, ready to support the battlefield at any time. At this moment, Su Yan is the only flagship in the Golden Alliance that has not been captured. Su Yan also began to command his own ground units to start airborne. At this time, Ling Bing also added, the soldiers of the Golden Alliance should not be idle, at least they can land on the wreckage of the surrounding Zerg ships to provide fire support for them. Asterisk, good. In this case, the fleet on Su Yan's side became the backbone. Su Yan was in command of the overall situation on the Hyperion, and his combat troops began to drop down as the Hyperion moved. Ling Bing, you are in charge of commanding the remaining fleet of the Golden Alliance for support. Clear. The battlefield situation gradually stabilized. Along with the movement of the Hyperion, the Predator troops, the Iron pilots and the Guardian troops descended on the ground battlefield one after another. Hiss. The Zerg brood let out a shrill, piercing scream. When a Golden Alliance ship was preparing to airborne soldiers, huge flesh and blood tentacles smashed directly at them. But the next second, a Yamato cannon directly penetrated the flesh and blood tentacles. That flesh and blood tentacle was directly smashed by Yamato cannon. The Zerg mother nest let out a scream. In the sky, Su Yan aimed again. Yamato cannon fired. Boom. With a loud noise, the Yamato cannon shattered a fleshy tentacle again. Immediately afterwards, the third Yamato cannon was fired. The terrifying energy directly devoured the flesh and blood tentacles. This time, the hatred of the Zerg brood was directly placed on the Hyperion. Seeing this, Su Yan also used the space transition again. The Hyperion disappeared directly in place, and reappeared, which was out of the attack range of the flesh and blood tentacles. Facing the Hyperion in the distance, the Zerg brood could only be incompetent and furious. But the ships of other fleets were not so lucky. They were entangled in the Zerg mother nest and couldn't move. I really envy Su Yan's ship, which can make space transitions at will. If my ship has this function, it will not be pressed here and cannot move. Now, we can only pin our hopes on Su Yan. Our fleet has been emptied of ammunition, and this Zerg brood is the last one. Whether we were swallowed by the Zerg, or whether Su Yan saved us from the fire, can only see Su Yan. Several people also laughed bitterly. They did not expect that in the end, they would pin their hopes on Su Yan. In the fleet of several people, Su Yan's strength is obviously the weakest. However, he made brilliant achievements in battle. Blast the Dreadnought victory, break through the Zerg defenses, and now fight the Zerg brood. Everything Su Yan has done is far beyond their imagination. Boom. Suddenly, alarm bells rang out in the golden glory. Jean Luo's face suddenly turned pale, and this alarm bell meant that a Zerg had penetrated into the cabin. Sure enough, in the corridor, a 3-meter-tall giant Zerg soldier rushed in. The limbs are like spears, and the sturdy shell faces the threat of bullets, and there is no fear at all. Hiss. The giant Zerg soldier let out a roar, and then rushed directly to a Jean clan warrior. Puff. Blood splattered everywhere, and the Zerg soldiers were like ruthless killing machines. Seeing such a tragic situation, Jean Luo, in the bridge, became even paler when she saw these Zerg soldiers. The soldiers under her can't resist the threat of giant Zerg soldiers. One after another Zerg soldiers crawled in from the gap, and a group of Zerg teams had gathered in the corridor. These Zerg soldiers are attacking the bridge with unmatched momentum, and more Zerg soldiers are invading. The fear of death suddenly enveloped Jean Luo's heart. But at this moment, the Zerg soldiers who were invading from the gap in the screen suddenly stopped. Immediately afterwards, all the Zerg felt a chill in their hearts. Boom! A Zerg soldier's head fell from the gap. The next second, a predator fell from the gap. Before the Zerg soldiers could react, the predator jumped up, and the wrist blade in his hand emitted a cold light. Brush! That Zerg soldier was directly beheaded by the predator. No matter how strong the Zerg shell is, the neck is still their weakest point. Hiss. At this time, the Zerg soldiers also reacted and surrounded the predator. But then, another predator jumped in. Several predators entered the cabin, and then, these predators aimed at the heads of the Zerg soldiers, and the plasma shoulder cannon fired decisively. Boom. 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 Without any hesitation, these predators turned into Zerg hunters, crushing Zerg soldiers with unparalleled strength. Jean Luo's eyes lit up when she saw these powerful predator in the bridge. Compared with the warriors of the Jin clan on his side, these predator warriors are completely superhuman beings. On the furious sea and raging waves, Hyles looked at such a powerful iron driver, and a layer of light appeared in her eyes. What a powerful warrior! It would be great if these warriors could be brought under my command. Thinking of this, Hyles looked at her crew, look at other people's crew, and then look at you. Several pirates also scratched their heads after seeing the amazing performance of the Iron Pilot. And Hyles also secretly thought that after the battle, she had to ask Su Yan where she got so many powerful warriors. As for Dao Wujian's side, the strength of the Guardian army was an eye-opener. The Guardian army did not give the Zerg a chance to infiltrate the Bagua Liangi. Saw the escort infiltrators, armed with power swords and tasers. Before those Zerg came close, they were directly dealt with by taser guns. Even those who came to the infiltrator of the Guardian army were directly dealt with by him with the power sword. These Zerg soldiers are still too weak compared to the Tyranids in the Warhammer world. As for the Rust Stalker of the Guardian army, it was a crushing situation. The Rust Stalker directly caught up with a Zerg soldier, and at this time, the sonic blade burst out with a special sound wave. The Zerg soldiers who heard this sound wave froze in place. And the Rust Stalker shreds these Zerg to pieces with ease. For a time, the situation on the entire battlefield had undergone earth-shaking changes just because 3,000 troops joined. The Viking fighters in the sky were full of firepower, and the Zerg on the Tau Star fleet didn't even have time to board the ship, and were directly smashed into pieces by the firepower of the Viking fighters. Su Yan leads the overall situation in the sky, and Ling Bing directs the soldiers of the Golden Alliance to continuously support the 4 flagships. The Yamato cannon has cooled down and can be fired again at any time. Seeing the cooling down notification of the Yamato cannon, Su Yan's eyes fell on the Zerg brood. After some entanglement, there are only 5 flesh and blood tentacles left in the current Zerg mother nest. Next, when it stretches out its tentacles, it will also reveal the location of the Zerg mother nest. It's time, it's over. Emission. Boom. A cannon rang out, and the Yamato cannon directly hit the Zerg brood. The explosion sounded, and the violent heat wave directly set off thousands of waves. Boom. 2 cannons rang out, and the Zerg brood was engulfed by flames. Su Yan didn't dare to slack off at all, and launched again with the attention of thousands of people. Boom. Somnian Yamato cannon hits the Zerg brood like a god's punishment. The terrifying energy of the Yamato cannon set off a violent aftermath. Countless lava was pushed away, and the Zerg mother nest appeared in front of everyone. Under the watchful eyes of the public, the Zerg mother nest, with a diameter of more than 100 meters, gradually turned into ashes like a leaking balloon. And the tentacles of flesh and blood that wrap around many flagships are gradually withering at this moment. Seeing this, all the flagships took off immediately, daring not to slack off. Without the command of the Zerg mother nest, those Zerg soldiers ushered in the moment of slaughter. In the communication channel, the Tau leader looked at Su Yan. You are the most potential human I have ever seen. You saved the lives of our Tau, and the Tau will regard you as a partner. Thank you, Su Yan. Without you, we would all be damaged here. I would like to express my gratitude to you on behalf of the Sun Alliance. Ha ha ha, I knew that your kid must have something to do. It seems that it was the right decision not to abduct you into our crazy shark pirates. Thank you, Your Excellency Su Yan, for your help. The Jin clan is very grateful. After the battle is over, there will be a great reward. The captains of the 4 fleets also expressed their gratitude to Su Yan. Su Yan looked at the leaders of the 4 fleets on the communication channel and was relieved. Fighting against the Zerg is what we all the people of Shanghai should do. After saying this polite remark, Su Yan also asked Lin Qingyue to call Baiying over. No one knows these Zerg better than the White Warbler. Before Baiying's confirmation, he still did not dare to slack off. At this time, Baiying also came to the bridge. Master Captain, congratulations on destroying the Zerg conspiracy again. It seems that I didn't choose the wrong person at the beginning. Hearing this sentence, Su Yan also smiled faintly. Afterwards, Su Yan also looked at Bai Ying. As a psionicist, you are very sensitive to the Zerg. Do you think there is a Zerg mother nest on this planet? There can be no slack in the post-war cleanup operations, especially for these Zerg. And Bai Ying shook his head. I can no longer feel the existence of the will of the Zerg. That's fine. Thinking of this, Su Yan was also relieved. The Battle of the Silver Light Galaxy has officially come to an end. No one thought that the legendary ship Fearless Victory was eroded by the Zerg and turned into a Zerg flagship in the warp. Fortunately, under the suppression of the Golden Alliance, the Zerg army was successfully killed on the deflagration star. This unwarranted disaster also ended in the cradle. As for the treasures of the ancient empire carried by the intrepid Victory, even if there is, it should be turned into ashes under the erosion of the Zerg. At this time, Su Yan was resting on the Golden Galaxy Sunstar. Swimming pool, villa, and several beautiful crew members in swimsuits. Su Yan also exhaled, not so relaxed, for a long time. This villa is a property gifted to Su Yan by the Jin clan. In this Golden Galaxy, where every inch of land is worth the money, the price of a villa is as high as billions of stars. But does the Kim clan care? They don't care. At this time, Bai Ying walked out of the villa. Captain, what was found in the Zerg mother nest some time ago has been analyzed. Hearing this sentence, Su Yan also sat up from the reclining chair. Take me over there. Some time ago, after the Battle of the Silver Light Galaxy, a predator found an aquamarine stone from the wreckage of the Zerg brood. He brought the stone to Su Yan, and Bai Ying recognized the stone as a treasure ball. This treasure sphere can only be opened with the use of psionic power. And today, Bai Ying finally unlocked the treasure ball. Walking into the villa, Su Yan also saw debris scattered on the ground. Among the fragments, a green seed was suspended in the air. Congratulations to the captain, what is inside is an extremely rare psionic seed. As long as you touch the psionic seed, this psionic seed can enter your body. By that time, you will be able to become a psionicist. Psionic seeds? Su Yan was a little excited, but did not expect that there was a psionic seed in this treasure ball. This psionic seed is likely to be one of the treasures of the ancient empire that was loaded on the dreadnought Victory. The Jin clan also scanned the deflagration star several times, but found no valuable treasures. Unexpectedly, the most valuable treasure is actually here. Su Yan also did not hesitate to hold the psionic seed directly in his hand. At this moment, Su Yan felt as if an electric current spread through his body. An unknown force is bursting out of his body. I don't know how long it took. When Su Yan opened her personal panel again, she couldn't help but feel happy. Name Su Yan. Race, humans of the solar system. Psionic value 2000/2000. Strength 70. Physique 70. Spirit 80. Skills, Psionic Control, Psionic Perception, A-Class Ship Driving Skills. Holding ships, S-Class Hyperion, A-Class White Knight, B-Class Valkyrie. Good guy. After absorbing the psionic energy seed, his psionic energy value soared directly to 2000 points. Strength and physique have been improved slightly, and the spiritual power improvement is the most significant. No wonder everyone wants to be a psyker. Su Yan also felt the power coming from her body and felt a burst of joy in her heart. After becoming a psionicist, in the future, even if he encounters other psionicist enemies, he will be able to deal with it. Thinking of this, Su Yan also secretly thought, it's time to plan a move to the inland sea. But before that, Su Yan still intends to stay in the Golden Galaxy for a while. Now that I have the favor of the Jin clan, I may be able to buy a few astrolabe coordinates here. Before entering the inland sea, it is necessary to pass through the Devil's Triangle, which is the only way to enter the inland sea. Many fleets have been damaged there. For the sake of insurance, I still need to increase the strength of the fleet. At least install recycled steel on other ships, so that the endurance will be greatly improved. Just when Su Yan thought about it, a message popped up on his tech watch. Jin Luo, Mr. Su Yan, please come to the burning star now, we have something important to discuss. Exploding star? Su Yan frowned slightly after seeing this location. Did something happen over there? Thinking of this, Su Yan also stood up. He has repeatedly confirmed before that the Zerg on the deflagration star have been cleaned up. Could it be about the ancient imperial treasure aboard the Intrepid Victory? But if the dreadnought Victory does have remnants of ancient imperial treasures, it should be made public as well. After thinking about it, Su Yan also took the star track directly to the Silver Star port. After the battle, his own ships have been maintained in the star port. Not to mention other ships, the maintenance of their own Hyperion should be completed now. After all, the current Hyperion is loaded with recycled steel. Post-battle damage heals quickly, so the Hyperion just needs a little maintenance. Soon, they also came to the deflagration star. After arriving at the coordinates sent by Jean Luo, Su Yan also drove the Hyperion to the designated location. A huge dock is erected around the wreck of the current Intrepid Victory. For the Jean clan, even if the dreadnought Victory shatters into slag, they must extract a little value from it. They're going to try and restore the Intrepid Victory, and if they can't fix it, throw it into a museum as an exhibit. It has to be said that the business acumen of the Jean clan is still good. And Su Yan landed in the parking lot built by the Jean clan engineering team, and at this time, Su Yan also discovered that the furious sea and raging wave was also here. Dao Wujian also walked down from Hailei's ship, and the Bagua Liangyi has been sent back to the Sun Alliance for maintenance. The others were also summoned here by Jean Luo, and at this time, Jean Luo also appeared in front of everyone. Behind her, several Jean clan warriors escorted a dark elf. After seeing this dark elf, everyone could not help but frown slightly. How could the dark elves be here? Today, the dark elves have a terrible reputation. These dark elves colluded with the Zerg, and also placed Zerg mother nests in various planetary worlds, making the current Xinghai once again in turmoil. Unexpectedly, they actually appeared in the open sea again. If I want to kill you or I will follow you, I won't explain anything. Snapped. Jean Luo slapped the dark elf's face with a slap. Her tone was cold and without any emotion. Shut up. If you speak again without my permission, I will throw you into the mine as a slave. Want to die? How could you die so easily? Hearing these words, everyone couldn't help but feel a chill behind their backs. Unexpectedly, Jean Luo, who looks cold and dignified on weekdays, has such a dark side. And Jean Luo also explained to everyone after cleaning up the dark elf. Recently, our Jean clan's fleet has discovered that some dark elf ships are secretly collecting Zerg corpses. Just yesterday, a group of dark elves actually landed near our mine, trying to steal the wreckage of the Zerg mother nest, but they were caught on the spot by my soldiers. The dark elf soldiers I caught before were reluctant to speak, so I assigned them to mine in the mine of our Jean clan. This dark elf is the latest batch. I don't know if I can get some information. Originally, Jean Luo didn't plan to tell Su Yan and the others, but recently, the activities of the dark elves have become too rampant. Even the frequent activities of the dark elves gave her an ominous premonition. At this time, Su Yan also asked, "Have all those dark elves caught?" Jean Luo shook her head. There are so many dark elf teens, like mice. Their main purpose is to collect the corpses of the Zerg, and once they succeed, they will leave quickly. Our manpower is limited, and it is very difficult for us to resist such harassing attacks. Having said this, Su Yan felt even more uneasy in her heart. The dark elves want to let the Zerg sweep the Sea of Stars again, and there must be no good thing to collect these Zerg corpses. I didn't expect them to move so fast. Hailei's next to her also squeezed her fist, or just beat the dark elves directly. If they beat them, they will be honest. Eternal Night Star, the mother planet of the dark elves, is a planet with orbital weapons. Our fleet is not enough for others to plug their teeth. Dao Wujian also sighed helplessly. Although the dark elf has now reached the point where all the people are enemies, he is still active in the Sea of Stars, which is enough to show his strength. Dark elves are one of the inland sea races, and it is not easy for a race to gain a firm foothold in the inland sea. My suggestion is to clean up those Zerg corpses as soon as possible. Those dark elves must have a plot to collect the corpse fragments of the Zerg. At this time, Su Yan also put forward his own suggestion. Now in this situation, only all the corpse fragments of the Zerg have been cleaned up. Only in this way can the movements of the Dark Elves be restricted to the greatest extent possible. At this moment, everyone who was resting on the Sunshine Star Bying seemed to feel something, and then she immediately took the Star Trail to the Starport. In Star Harbor, she skillfully found the location of the White Knight. The White Knight was quietly moored in the dock, and there was no sign of being invaded on the ship. But the strange feeling in Bying's heart still could not be dispelled, and at this time, Bying seemed to think of something and came to the secret room of Bai. The bottom secret room of the White Knight, this is where the core of the Zerg altar is stored. Su Yan has spent a lot of money upgrading this place since the last time he was targeted by the Dark Elves. Basically, it can block the psionic aura emanating from the core of the Zerg altar. After Bying came to the secret room, she couldn't help being shocked by the scene in front of her. The core of the Zerg altar is broken. This shows that another Zerg altar core has reappeared in the Sea of Stars. It also shows that someone can use this Zerg altar core to reopen the space crack to summon Zerg. I saw that the core of the Zerg altar on the table collapsed, a little bit of spiritual energy, and the power of the spiritual energy gradually dissipated into the air. And somewhere in a dark room, a dark elf nervously looked at a flesh ball made of Zerg corpses in front of him. Above the ground, a large amount of blood formed a complex rune formation. Suddenly the meatball began to squirm, and in the next second, an eye appeared on the meatball. When the dark elf saw this, he immediately fell to his knees. Great Will of the Zerg, you are finally here. If you're enjoying my content, please consider donating a coffee. Or checking out my shirts on TeePublic. Looking at the squirming creature in front of him, the dark elf's eyes were full of excitement. Finally, they summoned the true Zerg consciousness. It was worth their efforts to collect the Zerg corpses, and finally transferred the Zerg consciousness to the flesh mass in front of them through a secret method. Now, this meatball will evolve into a Zerg brood. This Zerg brood is not like the ones they cloned. The Zerg broods cloned by their dark elves are extremely slow to evolve. The new generation of Zerg soldiers needs at least a month to complete the transformation. Evolution is too slow for dark elves. But real Zerg broods are different, they evolve more than 10 times faster than those clones. As long as these Zerg get enough genes, sooner or later, they will grow into a huge 7-0. The general will surely reward me when he sees this. 35. Thinking of this, the dark elf soldier also took out the container to prepare the larvae of the Zerg mother nest. This Zerg mother hive larva has the will of the Zerg. As long as they can control the will of the Zerg, they can directly control the Zerg. They paid too much in order to transfer the Zerg consciousness directly from the core to the flesh they made. Now, the mission is complete. Next, the entire Shanghai will tremble because of the dark elves. But at this moment, the dark elf felt a sight. The larvae of the Zerg mother nest in front of him looked at him, feeling the gaze of the other party, and the dark elves also felt a chill in their hearts. No, this thing is a little wicked. Thinking of this, the dark elf also picked up a cage made of alloy, ready to put the larvae of the Zerg mother nest into it. But just then, something terrifying happened. The Zerg mother nest actually evolved a big mouth, and a dizzying sound filled the entire room. The next second, the Zerg mother nest instantly separated several tentacles. These tentacles pierced the dark elf's head like sharp swords. Thump! The dark elf fell to the ground, and then, the Zerg mother nest began to move. Then, swallowed all the corpses of the dark elves. In a short time, the body of the Zerg mother nest has reached the size of about 1 meter. The Zerg brood spit out several Zerg, which were smaller in size. But it is this body type that can better hide itself in the surrounding environment. Find prey for me, bring prey to me. The Zerg mother nest used the Zerg language to order those Zerg, and those Zerg also started to act immediately after receiving the order. Obviously, the intelligence of this Zerg brood is different from what Su Yan and the others have encountered. It knows how to hide, and it will not easily reveal its position when it has not fully grown up. Immediately afterwards, the Zerg brood began to devour other objects around it. In the body of the Zerg brood, any matter will be transformed into the biomass that constitutes the Zerg body. In a short time, the Zerg mother nest devoured all the items around it. Blood-red tentacles are scattered around the room, and these tentacles allow the Zerg brood to quickly obtain information about the surrounding environment. Above the deflagration star, after thinking about it, Su Yan and the others also killed that dark elf. These dark elves are really tight-lipped and can't ask any news at all. But what everyone can be sure of is that an extremely dangerous plan is brewing on the dark elf side. These dark elves are stubborn enough. Su Yan looked at the beheaded dark elf and felt helpless. They couldn't get any news, and they didn't know what the dark elves were doing to collect these Zerg corpses. But everyone's intuition told them that the dark elves had absolutely no good intentions. Ding, check-in location detected, deflagration star battlefield. Do you want to sign in? Unexpectedly, at this time, he triggered the system sign in. Sign in. Sign up. Ding, congratulations on your successful acquisition of 1,000 Thunder Warriors and 2 A-class Moon-class cruisers. 1,000 Thunder Warriors? And 2 Luna-class cruisers? After Su Yan saw the sign-in reward, she almost thought she had read it wrong. That is the predecessor of the Space Marines, the Thunder Warriors with superhuman strength. Unexpectedly, the weight of the Thunder Warriors is completely different from the warriors who signed in before. The power of the Thunder Warrior, compared to the Predator and the Iron Pilot, is more than a little bit stronger. Thinking of this, Su Yan was also delighted. 1,000 Thunder Warriors, and 2 Luna-class cruisers. With these 2 things, the capital to fight in the Inner Sea will be stronger again. At this time, Hyles also noticed Su Yan's state. I saw that she came directly over and hugged Su Yan. What's wrong? So happy all of a sudden? I remember happy things. 95, Su Yan casually said that he couldn't tell Hyles about the system check-in. Hyles glanced at Su Yan, and then revealed her real intentions. Su Yan, your subordinates are so strong, go and ask them if they are interested in joining my crazy shark pirates. It turned out that this fellow Hyles took a fancy to his unit. After hearing this sentence, Su Yan also said confidently, don't ask, no one of them will come with you. Those predators and pilots are all distributed to their soldiers by the sign-in system. These soldiers are unconditionally loyal to Su Yan. Unless Su Yan puts them on someone else's boat, they won't betray even if they are coerced. Are you so sure? Our shark pirates are treated much better than yours. Hyles was also a little unwilling, but Su Yan only showed a mysterious smile. If you want to recruit them, try it yourself. I'll tell you in advance that there are more than those jagged warriors among my men. I also have a corps called Mechanical Priests under my command. Their favorite thing is to dissect creatures and transform them into machines. Be careful when you pass by. 99, hearing this sentence, Hyles also froze behind her back. Transforming biology into machinery after dissecting it? She had heard that some of the guys who were caught by Su Yan were captured alive. Hyles glanced at Su Yan, this guy actually has such subordinates. Then, that's fine. Facing a group of deciphering madmen, even Hyles was a little terrified. After the discussion was boring, Hyles also waved her hand and placed it on Su Yan. At this time, Su Yan also smiled and did not speak. Then, Jean Luo came over, Your Excellency Su Yan, in addition to dealing with the Dark Elves, there is one more thing I want to ask you to do today. When he heard this sentence, Su Yan also looked at Jean Luo with interest. He was naturally very interested in the commission of the Jean clan. After all, the Jean clan is a master of money. Their entrustment is very valuable, and of course not everyone can accept the entrustment of the Jean clan. What's the matter? Su Yan also inquired about the content of the entrustment in advance. If it is beyond his ability, it is better to refuse as soon as possible. Yes, we have a cargo fleet that has vanished from the North Star of the Frozen System. 99. The disappearance of the cargo fleet is secondary, but my sister Jean Xing is in charge of this cargo mission. Of all the people I know, your 31 ability is the most reassuring, others I don't trust. So, if you can bring my sister back, I am willing to pay you 10 billion. 10 billion mouths are coming, it's not a loss to be a member of the Jin clan. Su Yan groped his chin, the frozen galaxy needs to be at least 10 galaxies away from here. Even if I go full speed, it will take a long time to get there, is that okay? 35, and Jin Luo shook his head, there is a stargate in our golden galaxy, which can be directly teleported to the vicinity of the frozen galaxy, I can give you a pass. Stargate, that is an extremely huge space teleportation technology. If there is the help of the Stargate, it is not a problem to travel across several galaxies to the frozen galaxies. So Su Yan also happily accepted this commission. It just so happens that Su Yan now needs a lot of money. After the 10 billion star coins are credited, he will have enough money to refit his entire fleet. And, now he has added 2 more Luna-class cruisers. In addition, the daily research of the mechanical priests also consumes a lot of resources, and Su Yan is also shy. Taking advantage of this time, I must get some more money from the Jin clan. In this case, I will take over this task. After taking over the mission, Jin Luo also handed over the Stargate Pass to Su Yan. You must know that this Stargate established by the Jin clan is generally only for their cargo ships to sail. If you don't have a Stargate Pass, you can't enter Stargate at all. As for those who want to forcibly break in, if there is no operator for stabilization. It is estimated that before the other party reaches the destination, the strong space force will crush everything. Su Yan also received the pass, and he has not used such things as Stargates. At this moment, a piece of news came out of Su Yan's technology watch. Baiying, Captain, the core of the Zerg altar is broken. As soon as the news appeared, Su Yan's face suddenly became solemn. Baiying had told him before that there was a wisp of the will of the Zerg sealed in the core of the Zerg altar. If this wisp of Zerg will flow out, it will change into a real Zerg mother nest. Zerg mother nests with Zerg will evolve faster and have higher intelligence. When it grows to a certain point, it will open the warp crack and release the intelligent race in it. They have also seen this situation of the Dreadnought Victory before. It took less than a day for the Zerg mother nest to step out of the warp, and evolved into a self-exploding insect ship and a lava-resistant Zerg soldier. If they hadn't killed it in the cradle in time, these Zerg didn't know how far they would have evolved. Now, the Zerg altar core is broken. It means that somewhere in Shanghai, the Zerg has made a comeback again. This time is different, they don't know where the Zerg is at all, and they can't prevent it at all. Su Yan realized the seriousness of the matter and immediately returned to the financial star dock. When he came to the White Knight, he saw Baiying sitting on the ground, curled up in the corner, as if she was afraid and as if she was guilty. She failed to protect the core of the Zerg altar, and she failed the mission of the entire White Knight clan. Su Yan came to her and looked at Baiying in front of her. The original powerful psionicist is now like a little girl who made a mistake. Ship. Captain, I didn't protect the core of the Zerg altar. If this core is outside, I will be the sinner of the entire Shanghai. Saying that, a layer of tears actually appeared in Baiying's eyes. Seeing this, Su Yan also gently embraced him. It's okay, trust me. I can destroy the Zerg twice, and I can destroy it a third time. You have to trust me, Baiying. At this time, Su Yan knew very well that only he could comfort Baiying. Wiping away the tears from the corners of Baiying's eyes, the usually tough Baiying actually shows the attitude of a little woman at this moment. Su Yan looked into Baiying's eyes and was a little lost for a while, but soon, Su Yan also reacted. His eyes fell on the broken core of the Zerg altar, and then he asked, Baiying, has anyone approached the White Knight before you? Baiying shook his head, no, I used psionic energy to investigate. So, apart from your White Knight race, do any other races know about the core 450 of the Zerg altar? 35. At present, apart from the Dark Elves, no other race should know about it. Dark Elves. Su Yan's eyes narrowed slightly. Today, Jin Luo called herself over, saying that the Dark Elves were stealing the remains of the Zerg recently. Immediately afterwards, the core of the Zerg altar shattered inexplicably. Thinking of this, Su Yan asked a crucial question again. Does anyone know how to transfer the will of the Zerg in the core of the Zerg altar? As soon as these words came out, Bai Ying seemed to think of something. There is indeed a race, that race knows this method, but that race has disappeared into the long river of history along with the White Knight race. There's another race, the Iron Man. The Iron Man clan invaded our White Knight clan at the beginning, and all the information of our White Knight clan was plundered by them. If anyone but me knows this method now, only the Iron Man. But hasn't the Iron Man family been jointly sanctioned by the ancient empire? As soon as these words came out, Su Yan immediately understood. He looked at Bai Ying and said something that made people shudder. Even the sealed Zerg can reappear in the world. The Iron Man Empire, that once plundered the entire Star Sea, may still have remnants alive. The former Qinghai was also prosperous, and even technology has developed to an extremely terrifying level. All kinds of intelligent machinery have become a necessity for all races in Qinghai, and there are intelligent AI butlers on almost every ship. Even on the battlefields of various ethnic groups, various intelligent robots can be seen fighting. Until the first Iron Man was born, these Iron Man were born with their own consciousness. They are awakened. Next, the Iron Man Empire will rise wildly with a spark. The entire Qinghai suddenly fell into the flames of war, and the Iron Man Empire at its peak even made those ancient empires shudder. They are constantly plundering the territory and knowledge of organic life, and under the blessing of endless knowledge, they are constantly evolving. The civilization level of the entire Qinghai even degenerated to the age of steam for a time. But in the end, there was a loophole in the Iron Man program, and the entire Qinghai used this loophole to successfully defeat the Iron Man Empire. Since then, research on intelligent AI technology has also been strictly prohibited. This is the Iron Man Empire, and the Iron Man and the Zerg are members of the so-called Star Sea disaster. Iron Man destroys organic life and plunders the knowledge of the entire Star Sea. The Zerg devoured all life forms and swept the genes of the entire Star Sea. Now that the Zerg has emerged, Su Yan has reason to suspect that the Iron Man Empire will also appear. After all, the White Knight race is extinct. If you ask where the Dark Elves can get the method to transfer the will of the Zerg, either get it from Bai Ying or get it from the Iron Man Empire, because the Iron Man Empire plundered the knowledge of the Bai Yi clan at the beginning, except for the White Ying, only the Iron Man Empire would know about it. However, if the remnants of the Iron Man Empire were still alive, would he still endure it until now? At this time, Bai Ying also shuddered. If the Iron Man Empire makes a comeback, add the Zerg threat. Wouldn't Qinghai have to face the threat of 2 natural disaster grade races? But this time, Su Yan also thought for a moment. Maybe, they just found the Iron Man Empire's database. But anyway, now the core of the Zerg altar has been broken. Even if we want to find out if the Dark Elves did this, we must go to the inner sea first. And now, they are in the open sea, before they have enough strength. What if there is evidence of the Dark Elves? Without strength, everything is vain. At this time, Su Yan also looked at Bai Ying. Don't worry, it's useless even if you are in a hurry at this time. Speaking of this, Bai Ying's eyes gradually dimmed. His mission is to protect the core of the Zerg altar, but now he has not done it well. Seeing that Bai Ying was still hurting herself, Su Yan also tapped her on the head. Okay, you don't need to worry about this matter, you are only one person after all. But you have to face the Dark Elves, you have to face the Zerg, and you have to guard against the Iron Man Empire. It's too tiring, you should take a rest for the time being. After saying that, Su Yan also patted Bai Ying on the shoulder. Under Su Yan's comfort, Bai Ying nodded obediently. Bai Ying looked at Su Yan, she did not expect Su Yan to be so reliable at this time. Thinking of this, her Gubo's calm heart also trembled slightly. Correct, Bai Ying, who was about to go out, also suddenly spoke. Seeing this, Su Yan also asked, "What's wrong? You're not allowed to tell me about the things I'm crying secretly here." Bai Ying also stared at Su Yan, and Su Yan also smiled bitterly. "I swear, I won't say it. After all, Buying also walked off the White Knight. When Su Yan left, Su Yan's smile also disappeared from his face. Running out of time. Frozen Galaxy, near Aurora. Along with a series of flashes, Su Yan's fleet also appeared near Aurora. Su Yan, who was sitting on the bridge, couldn't help but sigh. This is the Frozen Galaxy, and it's really fast to take the Stargate. Looking at the pure white planet in front of him, Su Yan couldn't help but sigh. The Stargate is really a good thing. It took less than 1/10 of the original time to ride the Stargate from the Golden Galaxy to the Frozen Galaxy. It's a pity that I can only use this Stargate if I have a pass, otherwise it would be good to use it to hurry. Afterwards, Su Yan's gaze was also on the Aurora star in front of him. This is where the Jin clan caravan finally crashed. The leader of this caravan was Jin Luo's younger sister Jin Xing. Like her, he is also a member of the Kim clan. Su Yan directed the ship to slowly move towards the Aurora star in front of him. If the caravan disappeared near the Aurora star, they would most likely land on the Aurora star now. Thinking of this, Su Yan also directly controlled the ship to run towards Aurora star. After the ship entered the atmosphere and passed through the thick clouds, Su Yan's expression changed when he saw the scene in front of him. Aurora was originally an icy, cold climate planet. The surface of the planet is snowed all year round, and the temperature at night is almost close to the legendary absolute zero. But it is on such a planet that it is absolutely impossible for living things to exist. One after another, small greenhouse worlds with glass domes appeared in Su Yan's field of vision. Looking to the side again, I saw one after another of the snow country trains galloping on the cold ground. This unscientific. Su Yan immediately called up the planet database. Searching for icy galaxy, Aurora. Aurora, a cold climate planet, is at -100 degrees Celsius all year round, and the night temperature is infinitely close to absolute zero, not suitable for biological survival. The planet has not been found to have biological existence at present, and it is expected that changes in the temperature of the stars may occur in the next 1,000 years. The last preservation time of the Aurora star data was 1 year ago. Last data saved a year ago? In 1 year, from a planet where even living things can't exist, to a world with dome world and snow train technology? Impossible. The entire Shanghai has never seen such a level of technological explosion. At this time, Su Yan's ship actually received a weak signal Phi. This is the caravan of the Golden Clan of the Golden Galaxy. We are wandering on the ice. We are being hunted down. This is the caravan of the Golden Clan in the Golden Galaxy. We are being hunted. We need help. Su Yan immediately analyzed the signal source location. Afterwards, Su Yan used the ship's communication system to reply to the other party immediately. Here is the Hyperion, which has accepted the request of the Jin clan to come to the rescue. Captain. We have a rescue call. In a cave in the ice field, many members of the Chamber of Commerce in spacesuits are also playing with their own technological watches. At this time, as the leader, Jin Xing also showed a hint of joy on his face. Finally someone came to rescue them. When Jin Xing recalled his experiences these days, he felt a chill in his heart. You have to pass the news on this planet. The legendary Iron Man Empire is reviving. She had just stopped at Aurora Star for some repair work. Who knows, they were besieged by countless robot legions as soon as they landed. The bodies of these intelligent robots are made of alloys, and the weapons in their hands have evolved into modern weapons. They have powerful mechs and signal jamming technology, and their ship systems are directly hacked by Iron Man engineers. Of the entire fleet, only a small group of them escaped. But these Iron Men were able to track the source of the signal, and they didn't even have the opportunity to use a technical watch during this time. You can only keep evading, and then use this gap to send rescue signals. Just then, there was a sound of footsteps outside the cave. Hearing the footsteps, everyone immediately picked up the weapons in their hands. At this moment, an Iron Man made of metal alloy walked in. A pair of scarlet 000 mechanical eyes scanned the dim cave. Suddenly, Venus burst out of the dark corner with a laser gun in hand. With a crisp sound, a series of sparks erupted from the sound of the laser gun and Iron Man's body. In the next second, countless laser bullets were fired from the dim cave. Crackling, Iron Man's body was directly penetrated by laser bullets, and through the iron shell, they could see the internal mechanical structure of Iron Man. Uploading coordinates. Looking at the fallen Iron Man, Jin Xing couldn't help but curse. They're changing places again. When these Iron Men are dying, they will upload their coordinates to all Iron Men. As long as the Iron Man is nearby, he will receive the coordinate information at this moment. Jin Xing looked at the Iron Man on the ground and stepped on it a few times. But the Iron Man's shell is made of alloy, unless it is a laser weapon, it is difficult to cause damage to it. After venting for a while, Venus also glanced at his laser gun. The energy above is only enough to hit about 10 rounds. How many bullets do you have left? 9 shots left. Fortunately, mine can still hit 10 rounds. 55, 3 shots. My magazine is empty. At this time, the members of the Chamber of Commerce team were running out of ammunition and food. But at this moment, misfortunes do not come singly. When they just walked out of the cave, a large number of infrared sights fell on them. For a moment, Venus froze in place. Around the cave, dozens of Iron Men armed with guns aimed at them. At this time, Venus can only close his eyes. These Iron Men in front of them will not show any mercy at all when dealing with organic life forms. Discover the target organic life form, prepare to implement the rectification agreement, and strangle all organic life forms. All the Iron Men did not hesitate to aim at the Chamber of Commerce team in front of them. One of the team members had limp legs and knelt directly on the ground. Ruined, do you really want to end your life here? Jin Xing closed her eyes, even though she was unwilling, but now she is powerless. Boom. Just then, a loud bang fell from the sky. At this moment, everyone's eyes could not help being attracted by the creatures falling from the sky. But the next second, a pair of big hands in the smoke directly pinched the necks of the 2 Iron Men. Squeak. With the piercing sound of metal squeezing, the 2 Iron Men were forcibly pinched their necks. At this time, Jin Xing also opened her eyes, and she saw a burly warrior appear in the dust. On him, he is also wearing a very strange armor. Boom. The next second, another macho fell from the sky. DBCG. This sturdy man slashed the nearest Iron Man in half with a power sword in his hand with lightning speed. Boom. 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 A large number of steel men fell from the sky. They are the Thunder Warriors under Su Yan. Thunder Warrior holds a bolt gun in one hand and a power sword in the other. Wearing Mark I Thunder Mode power armor. However, these power armors have been optimized by the mechanical priest, adding a position generator. These stance generators add a shield of energy to the surface of the Thunder Warrior. The energy shield can not only resist part of the damage, but also allow the Thunder Warriors to fight in harsh environments. Several Thunder Warriors looked at the surrounding Iron soldiers. Without further ado, the Thunder Warrior raised the bolt gun in his hand. Boom. Bolt guns fire bullets with terrifying kinetic energy. These bullets landed on Iron Man, directly piercing Iron Man's alloy body. Iron Man's eyes fell on the Thunder Warrior. As an intelligent machine, he immediately began to analyze the Thunder Warrior who appeared in front of him. Detected a high-strength organic life form, with extremely high strength and strong physique. The target is equipped with melee and ranged weapons, which are powerful. After judging, our chance of successfully killing the opponent is 0. Before he finished speaking, a Thunder Warrior directly twisted off the head of the Iron Warrior. The other Iron Man still wanted to run away, but the Thunder Warrior didn't give them a chance to escape at all. The bolt gun spit out suffocating tongues of fire, and the breath of gunpowder smoke filled the ice field. These Thunder Warriors annihilated the Iron Man core in an instant with extremely efficient speed. Seeing this scene, Jin Xing couldn't help but widen his eyes. Is this their rescue? Too strong. You know, the alloy body of the Iron Man, even if a tank runs over them, there will be no change. But, in the hands of these Thunder Warriors, these Iron Man's proud alloy bodies are just like plasticine. At this time, Su Yan on the Hyperion also officially contacted Venus. Miss Jin Xing, please be patient. Before Su Yan finished speaking, Ling Bing next to him reminded Su Yan. A large number of ship targets are approaching. It is suspected that the Iron Man's fleet. Hearing this sentence, Su Yan's eyes narrowed slightly. Iron Empire already owns ships? How is this possible? If their ship technology was mature, they would have already rushed out of the Aurora star. How can you curl up on this vile planet? But they couldn't allow Su Yan to think more, and a large number of Iron Man ships appeared in their field of vision. Found the target, the Iron Man soldiers are being airborne. Analyzing the enemy's combat power. The threat level is determined to be very high. 35. These Iron Man ships did not besiege them for the first time. Instead, they hovered in place, and a large number of Iron soldiers were parachuted down. These Iron soldiers, armed with standard firearms, attacked the Thunder Warriors in unison. Su Yan's eyes narrowed slightly after seeing this scene. With the strength of the Thunder Warriors, even more Iron soldiers came. It was just a gift, the strength of the Thunder Warrior, but among all the arms he has so far, the single most powerful one. Really? Under the shocked gazes of Jin Xing and others, these Thunder Warriors rushed into the queue of Iron Man soldiers without waiting for the Iron Man soldiers to approach. Holding a power sword, a sword is an Iron soldier. The bolt gun in the other hand is also firing non-stop. Under the powerful firepower of the bolt gun, one hit, even the alloy body of the Iron Man will be pierced through a big hole. This is too strong. Are they human? How can humans have such terrifying power and speed? Looking at their size, they should be the product of some kind of genetic engineering, but when did human genetic engineering technology reach such a terrifying level? The bodies of those Iron Men are made of alloy, and ordinary bullets cannot penetrate their armor. However, even such an Iron Man, encountering a Thunder Warrior, is an order to be crushed. The Iron Men on the opposite side followed one after another, and the Thunder Warriors were like a battlefield meat grinder, ruthlessly crushing these Iron Men. For a time, a very strange scene appeared on the battlefield. Obviously, the Iron Man Corps is far more numerous than the Thunder Warriors. But tens of thousands of Iron Man Corps were crushed by the Thunder Warriors, and the front line kept retreating. A Thunder Soldier fired out the bullets of the bolt gun, and an Iron Man also caught the flaw when he saw it. Seeing Iron Man rushing over, the Thunder Warrior showed a cruel smile. Afterwards, the Thunder Warrior directly recovered the bolt gun. Immediately afterward, a heavy punch that struck the Iron Man's head directly. Before the Iron Man could react, he flew out several meters upside down, and a clear fist mark appeared on his face. Warning, the photosensitive system has been damaged. Warning, the vision system has been damaged. Warning, brain chips are hit hard. The Iron Man kept twitching on the ground, but the next second, the Thunder Warrior strode forward. Brush! The power sword directly cut off Iron Man's head, and the Thunder Warrior held the power sword and stepped on Iron Man's body, revealing an excited smile. Hiss! Jin Xing couldn't help but gasp when he looked at these iron-armored men. The melee combat strength of these ironclad men is far more powerful than when they use firearms. Perhaps, the Thunder Warrior who lost the bolt gun is the real Thunder Warrior. These Thunder Warriors are like bulldozers, forcibly opening up a huge open space in the center. Jin Xing and others have never felt more secure than they do today. Although they were on the battlefield, they felt at ease with the protection of these ironclad men. At this time, Su Yan also took the opportunity to land the ship in one place. The hatch opened, and Su Yan stood at the hatch. Seeing this scene, Jin Xing and others also seemed to see hope. The Thunder Warriors also received Su Yan's instructions, so many Thunder Warriors also began to adjust their tactics. Jin Xing and others began to move, and the surrounding Thunder Warriors also began to move. Seeing this, Su Yan also showed a satisfied smile. It is not a loss to the sturdy men of the Warhammer world, these Iron Men are completely vulnerable in the hands of the Thunder Warriors. But at this moment, Su Yan looked at the ships in the sky. Those ships were still supplying Iron Man, and at this moment, one of the ships began to move. Immediately afterwards, a giant Iron Man over 2 meters in size was dropped from the air. The Iron Man of the airdrop has changed. The giant Iron Man appeared, they jumped up, and fell into the Iron Man core like a cannonball. Boom! As his huge figure fell, the surrounding Iron Man was directly blown away by him. Loading battle data. Analyzing target action. Data is being transferred. Boom! Before these giant Iron Men could react, the Thunder Warriors also directly bombarded them with a punch. But these giant Iron Men were clearly made to deal with those Thunder Warriors. Su Yan touched her chin and narrowed her eyes. These Iron Men produced giant Iron Men specially aimed at Thunder Warriors just by relying on the battle data just now. Sure enough, the creatures known as natural disasters in legends are not simple. However, the Thunder Warriors' ability is not only these. After the giant Iron Man took a few steps back, a clear fist mark appeared on his body. After seeing this scene, Jin Xing and others also changed their expressions. Ruined. In their eyes, the invincible and invincible Iron Man actually met a giant Iron Man. After the Iron Man can share the data in the battlefield, it can be transmitted to the arsenal, and then these arsenals will produce the Iron Man specifically for each other. And this giant Iron Man is clearly meant to target the Thunder Warriors. Once the Thunder Warriors are blocked, who else can stop these soldiers? Heh, is that all that matters? One of the Thunder Warriors said this in a deep voice. Immediately afterwards, a series of lightning sparks burst out from the energy pack behind them. The powerful electric current is transmitted into the power armor, and the Thunder Warriors have been strengthened by the power armor. The power sword fell directly like lightning. Brush. The giant Iron Man was directly beheaded by the Thunder Warriors, and these giant Iron Men were declared scrapped without even being in the hands of the Thunder Warriors for a minute. Jin Xing and the others widened their eyes, co-authoring. From the very beginning, these Thunder Warriors didn't use their full strength. Warning, the target's combat power has been greatly improved. Battle data is being transmitted. Determine target threat level, unmatched. Boom. The Thunder Warrior smashed Iron Man's head with 1 foot, and the power sword in his hand made all Iron Man feel a threat. But at this moment, Su Yan saw several more ships, and at the same time they started to drop giant Iron Men. At this time, Su Yan also understood. The ships in front of them are more like a mobile arsenal than a ship. The enemies encountered by these Iron Men in the battle will be transmitted into the arsenal, and then the arsenal will regenerate Iron Men specially designed to fight the enemy. However, they completely underestimated the Thunder Warrior. For flowers. The ability of the Thunder Warriors is not something they can restrain in a short time. But after all, the number of opponents is large, and in a short while, these giant Iron Men also surrounded Jin Xing and others again. The pace of Jin Xing and others also became significantly slower. Seeing this, Jin Xing and others were also anxious for a while. If it goes on like this, the number of Iron Man Corps will increase. At this time, I looked towards Su Yan, and Su Yan also started to gather a part of the Iron Man. But Su Yan stood at the door of the cabin, calm and composed, as if waiting for an acquaintance. How can this guy be so calm? If it goes on like this, even his ships will be occupied by Iron Man. But at this moment, there was a muffled sound in the sky. Boom! When a behemoth falls from the sky. Brush! The Ronin Titan slashed the smoke and dust, revealing its original appearance. Ronin Titan, airborne successfully. Boom! Immediately afterwards, the second Titan fell. Legion Titan, airborne successfully. Ion Titan, airborne successfully. 000, the North Star Titan, has reached the battlefield. Imperial Titan, airborne successfully. 100 Titans successfully airborne. After seeing these titans, Jin Xing and others showed a hint of joy on their faces. No wonder the other party is so calm. It turns out that there are such powerful reinforcements. It's not over yet. With an engine roar, the Viking fighter plane appeared in the air. When it appeared, it was accompanied by fierce artillery fire. For a time, the open space between Jin Xing and others and the ship was cleared out of a road to the sky. Looking at the figure of the Viking fighter in the sky, Jin Xing and others couldn't help but look at Su Yan. Where is he wholly? With such a powerful army? Dinas is running business in aliens, and naturally, he does not know what happened to the Golden Galaxy in the recent period. Under the double protection of Thunder Warrior and Titan, Jin Xing and others successfully boarded the Hyperion. But at this moment, Su Yan once again saw a ship detached from the fleet. In the next second, a familiar figure descended from the ship. A Titan made of metal? Good guy. Piracy in front of my face? However, this Iron Man Titan Sora has a body shape, and the flexibility and firepower are far inferior to his Titan. But Su Yan is sure that if you give Iron Man a certain amount of time, they will be able to reproduce it completely. That's the scary thing about Iron Man. Su Yan turned to enter the bridge and pulled out the operation panel. The Hyperion took off with a bang. Seeing this, the Iron Man Corps on the ground also raised their guns and started to attack the Hyperion in the sky. However, their attack was nothing more than a tickling for the Hyperion. Dinas and the others were sitting in the Hyperion, and the dangling heart was finally relieved. Next, it's finally time to go home. Get rid of these guys before you go back. After all, Su Yan opened the operation panel directly. Orbital bombing is being prepared. Looking at the giant Iron Man on the ground and the Iron Man Titan, Su Yan couldn't bear these Iron Man so recklessly pirating his own technology. The Hyperion slowly lifted off, and at this time, the Valkyrie fireship anchored in outer space was also slowly approaching the loss. Thank you for watching Mystic Realms Recap. Please like, share and subscribe. Have a great day.